there's a fascinating story on Tunisia, or a brother from Tunisia. His story is just fascinating. Give that to us, please.
Sure. That brother who came from Tunisia, he came up to us about 6 months ago. And again, as a Muslim from that background, it's extremely, he didn't even want to come today because he's frightened. And I understand. But he definitely, when he came to us, he really didn't know too much about Jesus, but he did believe in him. So we've been teaching him. He's been growing in God. He wants to get baptized. Having said that, his story is, he went on the internet and he saw some strong Christian Arabic speakers that had debates with Muslims, and he listened to them. And again, just like I had to come to the conclusion, either the Quran's right or the Bible's right, he came to the knowledge of Christ through these debates. He never heard about Jesus. He made the mistake of saying something negative about Muhammad. Now, maybe in this country you could get away with it. You usually could. I never came across a true radical Muslim. The Muslims I know are just really very peaceful people. They're committed to their faith, but they're not going to harm you, the ones that I know. But when you're in a non-Muslim country, you have that element. It's usually a very small element that are radical. Anyway, he said some things about Muhammad that he always questioned, but was too afraid to ask. A lot of Muslims don't know Muhammad, his whole background. Now, I personally feel he did a lot of good things. I'm going to give it to you straight. But he also did a lot of things that I found very questionable. And, I know people who said, this is what happens. They'll show a picture of a person that was assaulted. This is what happens when you say something negative about Muhammad. So you got to be very careful. Well, unfortunately, he says something negative about Muhammad. So I guess the people of the mosque that he once attended came to visit him at his work. He had a good position. And during lunchtime, they visited him and said, brother, we really want you to come back to Islam. And they'd have these long theological discussions. And he would say why he didn't want to come back. But again, he said something negative about the Prophet Muhammad. This went on for probably about a month or two. And finally, they came to visit him again. But this time when they came, the person was wearing a jacket, and he lifted it open and said, brother, we really want you to come back to Islam. And there was a sword there, and he knew what that meant. Now, again, I don't speak Arabic, but they Islam, Teslam, sometimes you have convert or die, or you have a certain amount of time to recant. And he knew he was in trouble. So he told his family, I'm going to go on vacation. So he went on a vacation. He went to Mexico. He saw the border agents. He approached them. He surrendered his passport. He told them, I want religious asylum. And he came to this country. Now, again, he was brought to us by a ministry. Told us, we know you do outreach to Muslims. Can you help this person? So I vetted him to the best of my ability. I read all his documentation, and we have him into our center now. Now, it doesn't stop there. Now what? Now he has to grow. He has to learn. He has to be comfortable that he is loved. And I understand it's hard. It's so hard to give up everything. He gave up his job. He gave up his family. He can never go back again. And his family, his whole family, a few of his family members knew what happened, the true story. The rest of them, they don't know what he's doing or where he went. He actually gets depressed that time. Person that we want to show the body of Christ is there for you. We're not just going to say we're going to pray for you. We're going to do something about it.